given when we have to decide that there is a node and it has to be split, we how do we choose an attribute on what to split? Okay, so if there are k attributes, you will have, let's assume that we have 100 records in our training set. Okay, and let this be my target variable, and it has some classes. It could be 2 classes, 3 classes, whatever. Now when I start making the decision tree, at the root node I have 100 records. Now how to split them? So should I split them on x1? Should I split them on x2, xk, x3? I don't know. So I will somehow compute and find out which attribute is giving me the most pure information, which is helping me decide which class to my this particular record belongs to. So let me say attribute x1 splits the records in, let's say, 60 records in class C1. Let's say there are two classes, C1 and C2, and if I judge based on attribute x1, it is 60 in C1 and 40 in class C2. If I talk about x2, it is giving me some 50-50, and if I talk about x3, it is giving me a split of, let's say, 78 and 22. So which record should I choose to split on? Which attribute should I choose to split on? Does it give you any information? Just by looking at it. Which is more pure if I talk about these three? Any responses? Anyone? X3, I guess. Okay, why do you guess it to be X3, Sachin? So Sachin is saying X3. What is the logic? Why do you think that it could be X3? Okay, there is a difference of what? Okay, so you are saying the division of classes is same. Okay, if you see X2, if I decide based on X2, 50% of my classes are going to C1 and 50% of records are going to C2. And then talk about X1, there is some better way, because now I know because of X1, 60 of my records will go to C1 and 40. But in X3, more records are going to C1. So that means it is giving me more information. Probably these classes are more dependent on x3 as compared to x1 or x2. So at this point of time, I will choose x3 to split. Now x3 will have different values. It can be a nominal or a continuous attribute. Okay. Nominal means it can have some categories, or continuous means it can have some values. So if nominal, it could have 2 values, 3 values, 4 values, if I say yes and no, so something of this sort. If it has 3, maybe it could be low, medium, high, or maybe this is eye color. And if it was a continuous record, it could have some values between range 20 to 60. So now we have to decide how we are going to split. So depending on the type of record, we are going to decide the split. uh, Once we have decided the split, let's say we have decided about 3 paths to go from here. Now at this level, you still have 100 nodes, but now those 100 nodes will be divided based on split. For example, low, medium, high. So there will be some records which will be belonging to low. Let's say the records that belong to low, the total number is 30. For medium, the total number is, let's say, 50. And for high, the total number is 20. So as you see, now records have been split. Now again at this level, now x3 has been used up. So I am left with x1 and x2. Now you will see that combined information based on low, medium, high, which one is giving me more information or more purity. You will split again based on that record. So on and so forth till you find that all classes in a node belong to, all records in a node belong to same class, or maybe you have decided some heuristics to stop if it is going too long. Now, is there a question? Okay, so there is no question. So how do I split? As I have already discussed before, suppose there are two classes and at a particular node 5 records belongs to one class and 5 records belong to class 2, and because of some other attribute you are getting this division. So we are saying that this split is giving me high degree of impurity. Because it is impure, I am not able to decide what is happening, and because this is more pure, I can figure it out. Okay, so maybe splitting on this particular attribute, I will get more information and I will be better able to divide my records or predict my records belonging to class C0 and C1. See, the idea was, if you remember, that we were trying to predict a class of a new record. So based on older records, you are figuring it out what is giving you maximum information or maximum purity or minimum impurity. So we will prefer nodes with purer class distribution. So there are two measures. One is the Gini index. Some people call it Gini index also. So 1 minus sigma pi t square from I equals to 0 to C minus 1. So if you have C classes, it could have been 1 to C also, not a problem. And PIT is the frequency of class I at node T. So that means that if you have class 1, 2, I, up to C. So for ith class, what is the frequency at node C? So if we are saying that there are two classes only, which is yes and no, then you will see what is the frequency of class Y and what is the frequency of class N. That means how many times, how many records which have value Y. So if you have 100 records and 60 of them are Y and 40 of them are no, then frequency of Y will become what? 60 by 100. And so basically it's a probability, and this becomes 40 by 100. Okay, so this is 6 by 10 and this is 4 by 10. So you will then square it and you will sum everything. So this will be 1 minus 6 by 10 whole square plus 4 by 10 whole square. So it will give you some measure. And now what is happening? Let's just see what will happen. So what you did was that if there was an attribute x1 and it was giving this kind of a split, you computed this value. If an attribute x2 was giving a split of 50-50, so what your answer would be? 1 minus 5 by 10 plus 5 by 10, 1 minus 5 by 10 whole square plus 5 by 10 whole square. So it would give you some value. And if x3 was giving you 73, oh sorry, 78, I think that's what we did, 22, then you would say 1 minus 78 by 100 square plus 22 by 100 square. So you will get some value, and whatever is giving you the maximum, you will pick that. So what maximum means, whatever, so 1 minus this value, there will be some value, something maybe will be 0.4, something will be 0.2, and something will be 0.6. Let's assume if this is 0.6. So you will pick the attribute which is giving this maximum of Gini index. Is there a question? एग्जाम में ये क्वेश्चंस आएंगे न्यूमेरिकल्स में, you will get them as numericals. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. The other way is entropic. It is computed as pi log pi. So this pi is remaining the same. So maybe it is 5 by 10, 5 by 10 for first split, then probably 6 by 10, Happy Lodi princess. So these are the probabilities. So you are simply going to compute, instead of pi square, you are going to compute pi log pi. That is 5 by 10 log 5 by 10, 5 by 10 log 5 by 10. If you know that log will be a negative value, so this will give you some negative number, plus 5 by 10 log 5 by 10, and this will be a negative number. What will be this number? This number total should be 1. This entire thing should be 1. If 1 by 2 log 1 by 2 is, this will give you 0.5 plus 0.5, which will give you answer 1. This should be 1. If you check, this should be negative 1. And sorry, this should be a 0. So if you do like this will give you answer 0. So when you are saying that you have 6 by 10, 4 by 10, it will be slightly greater than 0. Basically, on this scale, if you have a scale of 0 to 1, once when you are computing the log, the value inside of this bracket is a negative value. So negative and negative will become positive. So what is happening is, if you have less purity and you have 50-50 distribution, it will be tending towards 0, and if you have more purity, it will be tending towards 1. We will do those computations. So for 6 by 10, 4 by 10, it will be 6 by 10 log 6 by 10 plus 4 by 10 log 4 by 10. So keep your log tables handy also. 78 by 100 log 78 by 100 plus 22 by 100 log 22 by 100, and take the negative of it. So basically this one will tend towards 1, and because it is tending toward 1, it is giving you more information. So you will pick the one which is maximizing this. Okay, now because we are talking about probabilities, so it is always giving you a probability. Most classification algorithms give you a probability to which they never say that uh, that C1, that this record will 100% be C1. They will always give you a probability that there is a 70% chance that this record is belonging to class 1, or 30% chance that this belonging to class 2. Then one algorithm may be more confident and say that there is a 90% chance that it belongs to class 1 and 10% of chance that it belongs to class 2. So you will pick the one which is giving you the maximum confidence, and the classification error will be 1 minus this. So there will be 10% classification error. So most classification algorithms give you a probability of a record belonging to a particular class. And suppose we have C1, C2, we have more than two classes. We were considering a case for two classes. Now suppose we have more than two classes. So let's say the algorithm is 30% confident that it belongs to class this, and let's say 40% confident that it belongs to this, and 20% confident that it belongs to 3, and 10% confident that it belongs to 4. So this is the class it will finally predict, because it is saying that okay, I am most confident about this, and the classification error will be 1 minus 40%, in this case 60%. Okay, so anyways, we will not talk about classification error much now. Our focus will be on Gini index and entropy. No, we don't have to round out. If I maybe I have written it something like this, so it's not but you should never round off. No, never round off. And I would suggest that it take at least 3 decimal places to compute your answer, and never round off. Okay, so to determine the best split, compute the impurity measure before splitting and compute the impurity measure after splitting. So before splitting, if there was some impurity, which you will compute using Gini index and entropy. So after that, so basically for if you have, at attribute 3 you have already split. Now next level you want to split on x2 or x1. So there is some information available. This node has some Gini index that you will be having. Now what to split at x1 or x2? So in that scenario, you will compute the Gini index for x1 as well as x2. Let me call this as G, and let me call this as G1, and let me call this as G2. So now we are going to compute G minus G1 as well as G minus G2. And or if you are using entropy, then we will be computing the entropy measures. So now if this gives me more value, suppose this gives me 0.6 and if this gives me 0.4, then I am going to use attribute x1 for 6 because this is giving me the maximum gain. So we will choose the attribute test condition that produces the highest gain, or this can always also be put as that gives the lowest impurity after splitting. Let's try this. Suppose so at this level you had classes. See, there were some number of records in class C0 and there were some number of records in class C1. So because of that, your Gini index was what? 1 minus, what was your Gini index? 1 minus n not divided by, let's say there are n records. I am assuming there are n records, plus n 0 1 divided by n. I think it was a square. So this was Gini index. So this was your purity or impurity measure. Okay. Now you want to split on either attribute M or attribute M12. There's some attribute on which you want, sorry, on attribute A you want to split or on attribute B you want to split. On attribute A you get something like, okay, now this is very important. Please listen carefully because you will get such questions in exam. Now once you have already split from this level, n records have been split. Now here you have n1 records and here you will have n2 records. And the total here n1 plus n2 is n. But you have already split. Now you are deciding on this level. So basically this is your root node. This root node gave you n1 records and n2 records. Now you wanted to decide whether at the next level to split on A or to split on B. Now if you have n records, out of those n1 belonged to some because of that attribute. If there was a two-way split and there you got n1 records on this node and n2 records on this node. Now you will see that, okay, what is the probability of splitting on this? So you are saying this is n10 divided by n1, not n. ओके, जिस नोड पे स्प्लिट कर रहे हो वहां पे टोटल रिकॉर्ड्स काउंट करोगे। नेक्स्ट लेवल पे आओगे तो जो स्प्लिट के बाद रिकॉर्ड्स बचे हैं वो काउंट शुरू करोगे। सो दिस बिकम्स दिस स्क्वायर प्लस आई थिंक दिस इज n11 by n1 square, and this becomes 1 minus this. Okay, so that they are calling it m1. Similarly, if you had n2 records, यहाँ पे नीचे n2 आ जाता, n2 0 by n1, n2 square plus n2 plus n2 1 divided by n2 square, and you would have got this. So what will be the total? Summing this, you will sum the gain because of A, you will sum the gain because of B. Now from the original gain you will subtract this and this. Which one is greater? Suppose this is greater, then you are going to pick attribute A and split on this. If this is not greater, this is greater, then you are going to pick attribute B and split on this. So this is how you are going to compute. I know it might be a little confusing right now, but when you start doing, you will get the hang of it. Questions? Okay. Then, okay, Vibhu, I will repeat. If both becomes equal, then there should be some measure. The goodness is not there, and if both they become equal, then it could be. It cannot be arbitrary. It should maybe some attribute which where you are more then you have to pick and choose. So for example, if age as well as income, let's assume, are giving me the similar measure. Vibhu, I will repeat. It's giving me the similar measure. Then in that case, probably I will choose, and we have to find out that if the person will pay a loan, and age and salary will become a similar measure, then I will pick income. But if the algorithm is not coded to make such a decision, in that case it could pick an arbitrary split. Then it could pick an arbitrary split, like based on order. If age comes before salary, then it could pick. So in such a scenario, if to handle such scenario, then we have to code algorithms in such a way that it is sub split also possible. Okay, what do you mean by sub split, Sachin? Like we are split it on one. You are saying that if I have on a particular node, I have split on attribute x1. Now at a lower level, I am trying to split on x1 again. Is that the question? No, that's not possible. That's not possible. Because you have already split, you have already used that information. Okay, Vibhu, let's start again. I think it's better with an example. Let's see. Okay, let me see if I have an example coming up. Okay, just see. So this attribute, when we are computing Gini index and you wanted to split the records, now there are 10 records, Vibhu. Okay, let's assume there are 10 records and there are two classes. Okay, now there are two classes. and you have, let's say, four attributes. Okay, x1, x2. So okay, now you have to decide which one to use. Obviously, by looking at it, it is pretty obvious, but still, let's compute the Gini index in this case, because here binary classification is there. Right, light on. So binary classification is there. So in that case, your probabilities become p and 1 minus p. Otherwise, it would be there were more than one classes, then the probabilities would be p1, p2, p3. It will not be p and 1 minus p. But here you have a binary classification, so you can write 1 minus p into 1 minus p squared. So this is giving you this output. Anyways, not to worry if we have to compute the Gini index. Can you all compute the Gini index for each of these nodes for me? Please try to compute the Gini index and tell me the answer. Prakhyat, 0 is right. 5 by 18 and 4 by 9 you have to correct, compute using decimals. Okay, use, just divide them using a calculator and write the answers in decimals. Okay. um, is it giving the answer only in two decimal places, or more than two are possible, you have rounded off? Okay. Okay. X3 is 0.44 and X4 is 0.5. Let's see. So we will try to compute at least up to 3 decimal places, because this was 0.2777, so it was 278, 0.444 and 0.5. So you have Gini index like this. So that is the Gini index. Now what will give you maximum information? Which one is giving you least impurity? This one. So this is 0. This is some point. Okay, sorry. Let's. So this is giving you least impurity. Something that is giving you least impurity will be the one to be picked up for the split. And when a node is split into, if you want to split into multiple partitions, Vibhu, I will, so this is what I am explaining, that now once we are splitting, let's say you have records and you are, this is your target class, but you decide to split on a class which is also categorical, let's say height, okay, or length, something. So it has low, medium and high categories. So when you have, so basically if you are split on the height category, what is happening is your partitions are multi-way: low, medium and high. Now you will choose anything somebody has written. Okay. So when you have low, medium and high, in that scenario, out of 100 records, how many belong to low? Let's say 37. And let's say 23 belong to medium, and rest 50, what is the computation, 40 na, belong to this. Now if you want to compute the Gini of the split, this is which is basically at every child. Now when you're computing at low, when you want to compute the Gini index at this, so the number n will now not be 100. To compute the probability, we were dividing by n na, for classes. Now it will be 37. It will be 37 for node labeled L. It will be 23 for node labeled M, and it will be 40 for node labeled H. And then you will find out, okay, what are the number of classes that belong to class C1, or here in this case C0 and C1. So the number of classes that belong to C0 out of 37 and out of 31. So C0 and C1 for this, and you will compute the Gini index. And then out of 23, watch is C0 and C1, and you will compute the Gini index at this level, and so on and so forth. So once you have split on height, here now when you are going to compute, so at this level you are going to use these numbers. So this is what it is saying, that when you want to compute the Gini after split, then this is how you are going to do. Is this clear now? Or should I explain it once again? We should take an example actually. It will not work like this. Vibhu, is this thing clear? Vibhu? Okay, let's take an example. Okay. So at the parent node, you had a Gini index of 0.486. Now you want to split. So the yes classes is giving yielding you n1 number of record, and n2 class is yielding you n2 number of records. So Gini at n1. So now, so what they are saying is at the parent you had 12 records, and you got 0.4886 as a Gini index. Now, what is n1? Okay, out of these 12 records, 6 belong to N1 and 6 belong to yes class and 6 belong to no class. You are deciding whether we should be using this as a split. So now because you are using this, so you have to combine the gain information at both the nodes. So out of this 6, for the when you were on in this partition, 5 belong to class yes, and 1 belong to no. So you computed the Gini of this, and after this split, 2 belong to yes and 4 belong to no. So you computed the Gini of this. So what is the Gini? 0.278 and 0.444. So now the weighted Gini was what? The probability of this side was 6 by 12. So 6 by 12 into 0.278 plus, so this is always based on what is happening inside, and probability of coming on this side was some p. Here in this case 6 by 12, so multiplied by the information you gained from this side plus 6 by 12 and into information you gained from the other side, which is 0.44. So the total score is 0.361. Now at the root node your information was 486, and if you wanted to split on B, you would get this as the final the purity measure. So uh, the gain will be this minus this. Now let's assume that you didn't want to, split on B, but you wanted to try a C. Okay, that could have been possible. So when you wanted to try a C instead of a B, let me write it somewhere here. So here this is checking, I think 6 and 6 now. let's say that the C split took 8 and 4. Let's assume, okay? So when this took 8 and 4, out of those 8, let's say 5 belong to your C1 class and 3 belong to your C2 class. So what will be the Gini? It would be 1 minus 5 by 8 squared minus 3 by 8 squared. Am I right? Any questions till now? And when you divided on the other side, let's say it gave you 2 on one side and 2 on another side. So 2 belonging to yes and 2 belonging to n. I'm just taking some assumptions that records belong to these class. So 1 minus 2 by 4 square minus 2 by 4 square. So there is some index that was computed for n for this side. Can you help me with this? What is 1 minus 5 by 8 square and minus 3 by 8 square? Please give me the answer. Answers, please. अरे आंसर देना पड़ेगा. Okay. It's written Prakhyat. I want you to simply compute this. 1 minus this value 1 minus 5 by 8 square minus 3 by 8 square. I want you to compute this portion. Vibhu 0.5 for 1 minus 5 by 8 square minus 3 by 8 square. Are you sure? Anshika, you are sure you have computed 0.75? Should I write? Okay. Anshika, I am assuming that you are right. Okay. So 0.75 and this side is 0.5. Okay. I think that's what Prakhyaat told me. Okay. So now the weighted Gini will be 8 by 12 into 0.75. It's all probabilities plus 4 by 12 into 0.75. What is the, oh sorry, 0.5, sorry, 0.5. So what is the final answer? 8 by 12 into 0.75 into 4 by 12 into 0.5. Answer please. 8 by 12 into 0.75 plus 4 by 12 into 0.5. अगर MBA की भी तैयारी कर रहे हो ना, तो ये वाली कंप्यूटेशन फास्ट होनी चाहिए. Okay, Vibhu, 0.666. Okay, so 0.666. Now let me rub everything on the slide. Okay. I think there is some mistake because you've made some mistake. 1 minus we have done. Because it cannot be larger than this gain. It cannot be larger than this gain. Are you sure it is 0.666? Basically, we have to subtract this information again. You know, you had 0.486 minus the gain you got from here, and this should give you a better gain, this split that we have caused. But either I took the question wrong or it should not be 0.6. Okay, let's take some other example. Basically, the algorithm is simply for each distinct value, gather counts for each class. For example, if I attribute a split between 3 ways, then you gather count of classes and compute the Gini index based on that. So here, if you are combining the best, if you want to find the best partition, as we had discussed, that if we have to combine the best partition, then you will combine two or more types and then compute the partition. So in this case, this becomes a better partition. But there's no question. Okay, we have a question. No, this is also not the question. Let me just look up the book so that we just give me 1 second. Let's solve one question, otherwise you will not understand anything. Oh, Vibhu, you are not subtracted. Okay, Pooja. So that was 0.46875. So what is the answer? 0.4846875. 0.486 minus 0.468. Now this seems to be correct. So the gain, whatever is giving you the higher gain, will be the split that you will be choosing. now to do a practical example, let's take one complete question and solve it. Where is my Okay, let's take this example. I hope you can see this. Now the question is that this is your target class. Okay, so there are two attributes, yes and no. Now you have to make a decision tree. So when you have to make a decision tree out of homeowner, marital status and annual income, compute using the Gini index, compute which one you are going to pick. Okay, give me the first split and why, and give me the Gini index of everything. Now you will be able to understand better. Please try it. Whenever you get stuck, please ask me. So when we are trying to go for homeowner, how many records, how many possible values are there? If I want to split on homeowner, you can have either yes split or a no split. Okay, so if you have a yes split, so how many people are there in the yes split? So you have 3 values here and 7 values here. Okay, and now you want to see in yes, whenever it is yes, what is the class value? No, no, and no. So class 1, let my class 1 be yes, and let my class 2 be no. So my C1 is 0 and C2 is 3 when I split. And if I have no, then my how many C1s are there? When on no, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 no's. So there must be 3 yes, I guess. 1 yes, 2 yes, and 3 yes. Now compute the Gini index for this. Now try to compute the Gini index. Anyone who's trying? Are you trying? At least tell me if you're trying. I'm not going to solve this question for you. Zero point 0.42 for home owner. Okay, 0.489. Okay, but I have not understood how you have computed. Okay, tell me. Let's try to do this. Okay, Pooja, can you tell me what you have done? Can you just unmute and help me out here? Okay, Pooja has written 1 minus 0 by 3 square minus 3 by 3 square. That is for the yes class, but I want you to compute for the entire homeowner. Okay, 1 minus 3 by 7 square minus 3 by 7 square. Why? Okay, okay. Okay, so what is the answer? So she's saying for this node, I'm computing 1 minus 0 by 3 square plus 0 by 3 square. Oh, sorry. 3 by 3 square. And for this, I am computing 1 minus 3 by 7 square plus 4 by 7 square, which is equal to, I guess Pooja, you have written the answer. So first one is sorry Prakhyat, I missed you. I missed your answer. I will just come back to you. 0.4897 for G2. What is it for G1, Pooja? This is 1 square. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Now to weighted for this for us to compute the weighted Gini index, we have to do what? How many were there? 10 records were there. So this will be 3 by 10 into 0 plus 7 by 10 into 0.489. What is this value? 7 by 10 into this will become 0. What is this answer? Total 0. No. This one. 0.3423. Okay. Okay, now you have computed for what happens the total gain, because when you split on homeowner. Now let me take an eraser, erase all these things. What about you when you do it for marital status? Now tell me for marital status. You have marital status. In marital status, you have an option of splitting on single, married and divorced, and you have an option of splitting on, combining them. So let's simply do it like this: single, married and divorce. I am not yet combining. So when you have single, one no, two no, one yes, two yes. So there were 4 records, and out of those 4 records, you had 2 and 2. Okay. When you had married people, 1 no, 2 no, 3 no, 4 no. So you had yes and no and 4 and 0 and 4. Divorce, you must be having this and this. So divorce, you had 2 records, one belonging to yes and one belonging to no. Now compute the Gini index. So there were total of 10 records, and now compute the Gini index. This is 4, this is 4, and this is 2. How it is already given, Pooja. If you see, uh, you have to just see this is the target class. So you just have to see how many from when home your owner was yes. So when home owner was yes, what was the target class? Okay, okay, Pooja. Okay, please compute for marital status, everyone. Answer, please. Prakhya, computed fully. I am not sure because I have not computed. But have you used this 4 by 10 into 2 by 4 plus 4 by 10 into 0 plus. Okay, why is only 0? Prakyat? It should be 4 by 10 into 0 by 4 plus 4 by 4, right? Prakyat? This is 1 minus 2 by 4 whole square minus 2 by 4 whole square. And this one is 1 minus 0 minus 1 square, which is 0. Fine. Okay, okay. And this one is 1 minus 1 by 2 whole square minus 1 by 2 whole square. Okay, so what is this answer? Prakhyat, no, you can't use 2p into 1 minus p. It is only applicable when you have binary split. Now, if you see, the split is not binary. You here split is multi-way. Okay, what is this answer? 1 minus 2 by 4 square minus 2 by 4 square. This is 1 minus 0 0.5 square minus 0 0.5 square. 0 0.5 and 0 0.5 square, 0.25 and 0.251. So this becomes 0.5, I guess. Is this 0.5 for single? Okay, the yes no split is binary, yes. So this is 0.5. Yeah, so basically what Prakhyat is saying, that at this level he has done the binary split. Okay, and this is 0, and for divorce we have the same thing, I guess, 0.5. This is giving me 0.5. This is giving me 0, and this is giving me 0.5. So this is 4 by 10 into 0.5 plus 4 by 10 into 0 plus 2 by 10 into 0.5. If my this computation is correct. So what is the total? What is the total now? Okay, 0.3. So the total is 0.3. What is more gain? When you split on marital status or when you split on homeowner? This gain is more because this gain is more. So I have not yet used continuous, but we will be using this also. But I will tell you how. So suppose we had only two attributes on homeowner and marital status, because this was giving me more gain, so I will be using it to split. Now you are clear, Vibhu, or anyone who has a problem? Great. Thank you so much. So coming back, what they are doing is in a multi-way split, like we did for home on marital status, you can do it like this, or you can combine two classes, or matlab, basically you are combining two categories to find out the maximum split. So that also you have to do. In this, in our marital status thing, we have not done anything of this sort. So but in case of this, you will try to try different combinations and see which one is giving the maximum gain. So in this case, doing individually, this was the answer, and when we combined, this was giving us the maximum gain. Now let's do this for marital status once again. Okay, so we were doing, okay, we have single, so we have computed, I think what we have computed when we, the answer was 0.3 when we did not combine the classes. Okay, so now I want you to do one thing: combine single, married, and separate, divorced, and combine single and divorced and separate, married, and keep single separate and combine married and divorced. So when you had taken individually, your gain was 0.3. I am assuming that calculation was correct. Okay. Now I want you to do for this single and married together and divorced separate. What is the gain? Single and divorced together, married separate. What is the gain? And single separate and married and divorced together. So what is the gain? Please help me out with this. Now you have to solve it for yourself. I will finish the class if you solve this. Please try. Okay, expect such questions in your exam, whether it is open book or whether it is in offline mode. Please expect such questions in the exam. You will get these questions definitely in your exam. And there is no room for error. If you miss a single record, then your answer changes. So there is no room for error in this. Okay, 0.8125 for what, Anil? For which combination? I think you may. Okay, as single, married, and divorced separate. Okay, I think this is too high, but okay. Single 0.8125. Let's see. You have single, married, 4 records, 5 records, 6 records, 7 records, 8 records. You have 8 records in single and married, out of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are no. 6 are no and 2 are yes. Prakhyat is giving 0.2, he is giving 0.8. Okay. And Prakhyat is saying sorry also. Okay. So divorced was 2, and in divorced, so this is single, married, and divorced. 0.4. Okay. Let's see. SMD is 0.4. And Anil is, according to Anil, 0.8125. I don't know which one is correct. So let's see. Divorced are 2. One is yes and one is no. 1 and 1. So this is 1 minus 2 by 8 square and 6 minus 6 by 8 square. This is 1 minus 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 2 square. So this is 1 minus 4 plus 36 by 64. And this is 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 minus 1 by 2, so 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 is 1 by 2, so this becomes half. And this is 64 minus 40 by 64, which is 4. 6 minus 4 by... What is this? What is 24 by 64? What are you getting the answer? Okay. I am getting different answers. Okay, now tell me, this one is correct what I am doing. What is 24 by 64? Pooja? Total answer. Okay, 0.3. No, what is 24 by... Okay, let me divide it myself. You will not answer what I am saying, huh? No, it's not letting me. कोई बता दो भाई मुझे आंसर. सब फाइनल आंसर बता रहे हैं. अरे मुझे ये बता दो कोई 24 by 64 क्या होता है? ओके 0.375 ही होता है, पूजा बता रही थी. And 0.5, and this is what, 8 by 10, right? So this becomes 8 by 10 into 0.375 plus... Have I muted you all? I don't know. I can't hear you. Are you speaking? Is this correct? This is how you have computed it? Am I making a mistake? Sorry, Chirag. Okay. Okay, Prakhya. Okay. So at least you people are doing. I am happy about that. 8 divided by 10. यार मेरे को तो 0.1 मिल रहा है, मेरे हिसाब से ये 0.4 है। हाँ 0.4। ये इतने सारे अलग अलग आंसर क्यों आ रहे हैं? 0.4 आ गया इसके लिए, सो दिस इज 0.4। अब मुझे इसका कंप्यूट करके दिखाओ, एस डी और एम का। चलो करो कंप्यूट, एस डी और एम का कंप्यूट करके दिखाओ। चलो जल्दी करो, फिर क्लास खत्म करें, हो गया आज का। कंप्यूट फॉर सिंगल, डिवोर्स्ड एंड मैरिड। सिंगल, डिवोर्स्ड एंड मैरिड, इनका करो। चलो अब सही आंसर बताना, फाइनल आंसर बताओ करके। Okay, Prakyat. Okay, great. Good everyone. Pooja, just check your results, okay? Single and divorced, how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 singles and 2 divorced. So this is 6. Out of which you have, oops. This is 6. Okay, Pooja, check it. Why is it wrong? Okay, for single and divorced, now you have yes and no. 0.3. Oh, so should I write 0.3 here? Okay, good. Now change this. आप बताओ सिंगल कितने लोग हैं? 1, 2, 3, 4 singles. Rest of them are married. Single में no, yes. So 2 and 2. Married no, yeah, no. I think 5 नो, 1 yes. अब करो, इसका आंसर बताओ। 0.366. Okay. 0.366. So this is giving the highest gain, right? So we will choose this, but book में तो कुछ और choose किया हुआ था ना जब हमने question किया था. Let me see. Single and divorced. And what we have chosen? Single and divorced was maximum क्या? Single and divorced. We are getting 7, 0.3 here. Why have they chosen single and divorced? They're not married. So you will choose. Okay, did I make some mistake? प्रख्यात क्वेश्चन तो हो गया ना फिनिश 0.3. Okay, okay, okay. Then it will give you the highest answer. So, bus. That is 0.4. So, is that coming out to be the maximum value, Prakyat? Great. So that is what the book was also taking. So now we have learned how to compute the multi-way split and how to also find the best partition. So with the one partition that will give you the maximum gain will be chosen. And now if you have this attribute, continuous attributes, so how are you going to split it? So there are number of possible ways for splitting the values. Either you can split them using distinct, okay, the count each of them as a separate class. So but it becomes very difficult and heavy on computation if each of the numbers is counted as a separate class. So the other way is to find some partition in between and make a split based on less than that value and greater than equal to that value, or maybe less than equal to and simply greater than. So what you have to do is, firstly you will have to sort, and then after sorting split them. So how to choose the best v, what should be the best v, whether it should be 85 or 60. So scan the database in the count matrix and compute its Gini index. हर एक का गिनी इंडेक्स कंप्यूट करो और जो मैक्सिमम गेन दे रहा है उसको आप चूज कर लो. तो मतलब अगर 125 जहां जहां पे भी आ रहा है और बाकी लोग बेसिकली हर पूरे डेटाबेस में हर वैल्यू का गिनी इंडेक्स यूजिंग मल्टीवेज स्प्लिट आप कंप्यूट कर सकते हो. सो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम लेट्स से 60, 70, 85. So you just understand them to be multi-way splits and compute the Gini index of which and pick a value which gives the maximum gain. But it is computationally inefficient to do this. So what is the other solution is sort the attributes on values like this. Sort all the attributes on value, then linearly scan these values and update the counter matrix by computing the index. मतलब एक एक करके ना करके sort करके store कर लो और उसके बाद उनके Gini indexes compute कर दो and choose the split position that has the least Gini index और देखो जिसका Gini index कम होगा उसका gain maximum होगा क्योंकि आप उसको 1 से subtract करने वाले हो. So choose the split position that has the least Gini index. तो आपने सबका कंप्यूट करा एंड उसके बाद जिस पोजीशन का लीस्ट गिनी इंडेक्स निकला वो आप पिक करोगे फॉर स्प्लिटिंग. इन दिस केस 97 आ रहा है. उन्होंने एग्जांपल में 80 लिया था बट इन दिस केस 97 आ रहा है. सो यू विल पिक this position for splitting. So you can specify any number of intervals possible. For example 95 के 100 के 95 to 100 के बीच में लॉजिकल 97 वैल्यू है. 60 और 70 के बीच में लॉजिकल 65 वैल्यू है, दैट्स व्हाई दे आर splitting like this. So I will not talk about entropy today, else you will get confused. So let's talk about entropy tomorrow. Or I think we have a class tomorrow, right? So we will talk about entropy tomorrow. Till then, please practice Gini index. We have a test tomorrow, around 15 minutes objective type questions. I don't know, some people call it genie. मेरे मुंह से गिनी निकलते हैं, but people call it genie also. So I don't know what is the right pronunciation. Anyways, be ready for your test. It will be around 15 to 20 marks and 15 to 15 minutes का टेस्ट होगा. बट वो आप थोड़ा थरो होगा, अच्छे से पढ़ के आना. फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड चैप्टर अच्छे से पढ़ लेना. चलो, okay, now you can leave. If you have questions, then you can stay. Yes, it will be a quiz, Prakhyat. It will be a quiz.